Today, we're gonna look at 5 games that still deserve sequels.
First things first.
Releasing in 2009, Brutal Legend is a heavy metal fan's wet dream. It's an action-adventure open-world experience with a healthy mix of hack and slash and pretty in-depth RTS elements. Though a pretty common complaint about the game are those RTS elements, they become decently annoying. The game has an all-star cast including Jack Black, Jennifer Hale, my man's Tim Curry, Ozzy himself of course, plus other various metal legends. Star Wars Republic Commando was a tactical first-person shooter from LucasArts. It's centered around Delta Squad during the Clone Wars, whereas the squad leader, you gave commands to your squad mates to get the mission done. Not only that, but it had a multiplayer that I found to be pretty underrated. The game ends on a cliffhanger where the squad loses communication with popular character Sev, but are forced to peace out when their handler says there just isn't enough time.
Gosh, I think that's about it.
And then?
Freedom Fighters was a third-person game from 2003 set in an alternative history timeline where the Soviet Union invades the United States.
Citizens of New York and comrades from the Soviet Armed Forces, welcome to our first news broadcast after today's events.
You can command a squadron of random NPC resistance fighters along the way in each map. The more objectives you complete, which give you charisma points, the more people you can recruit. The game even had local couch co-op multiplayer that was a lot of fun. The game had a very fun story that ends with a small victory in a war that had just begun.
Okay, next please.
Sunset Overdrive, released in 2014 as one of the launch titles for the Xbox One, a third-person action-adventure game that mixed shooter elements with over-the-top skating that low-key reminded me of Jet Set Radio Future. It included a variety of weapons that were strange and hilarious looking, but were all very fun to use. I thought the story was a very solid experience with great voice acting, with the likes of Hall of Famers including Yuri Lowenthal and Laura Bailey. The humor didn't always hit, but when it did, it was fantastic. There was a co-op multiplayer tower defense mode, but I thought it was just okay.
We continue.
Yes, I know.
You know, I think that 2012's Sleeping Dogs has officially left the underrated category because it's talked about so much nowadays. However, I don't think this would be a proper list if I did not include it. In a time where there were still a crazy amount of GTA clones, this game rose above and set itself apart. In particular, the melee combat was better than anything that GTA has put out still to this day. And let's be honest, the karaoke minigame, huh? The story is still one of my all-time favorites. The game does has its flaws, though. What?
We like goblins, bats, and fishes.
I think the game still has its flaws. It still suffered from lackluster shooting and driving that other games of the time were also doing. So a sequel would obviously have to improve on that.